In 8th class biology, we are discussing World of Microorganisms Part 1. So, the next topic. In the last video, we have seen observing bacteria and fungi. Now, we will be seeing observing algae. How to observe algae under the microscope. So, first of all, we all should know where this algae is present. Generally, algae is present wherever the moisture content is there. Water content or water vapor content. Mostly, algae grows in moisture conditions. For example, if you see on the water, you can see small greenish substances present on the water. So that is nothing but algae. Even you can observe this algae in your tanks. Small green color layer will be present in your tanks. So that is also algae. So if you want to observe algae under the microscope, first you have to collect pond water or water from the tank. Like this water you have to collect. Then from this water you have to take few strands. There is no need to take everything, but little bit of algae you have to take and you have to place it on the slide. Algae you have to take it and you have to place it on the slide. Cover it with cover slip. Then you can observe under the microscope. When you observe under the microscope, you can see here. Like this you can see algae under the microscope. If you see carefully, you can identify this is Chlamydomonas. This is Chlamydomonas. So you all know Chlamydomonas is also algae. If you see the structure, it will look like this. So this is about algae. And all algae which is present in the water is not visible with our eyes. But exceptional cases, there are these two algae. One is Chara and one is Spirogyra. Chara and Spirogyra, these two algae, even you can see with your eyes. So this is Chara. Chara looks like this. You can see with your eyes. And this is Spirogyra. These both exceptional cases, these both algae you can see with your eyes. And one more thing what we have to remember about algae is half of the oxygen is produced by the algae. Algae which is present in the oceans, seas, only 50% of the oxygen is produced by our trees which are present in our surroundings. Other half of the oxygen is produced by algae. Very important work, or it has a very good importance to us. So this is about algae. And protozoa. You all know protozoa. Generally protozoa, they are good protozoa as well as bad protozoa. Like some protozoa helps us to improve the soil fertility, but most of the protozoans causes us diseases only. So how to observe this protozoa under the microscope? We all know microorganisms are present in the air, land and water. Land is nothing but soil. So here if you want to observe protozoa, first you have to collect hay, Hay, hay. If you see this dry grass, dry grass is called as hay. So you have to collect this dry grass. Then what you have to do, you have to soak it in the water. Soak the hay in the water. Like this you have to take a bucket or a jar and soak the hay or dry grass in the water. You have to keep it like that for 3 to 4 days. After 3 to 4 days, it will become a decoction. You know decoction? Whatever the protozoans present in the dry grass or hay, it will be coming to the water. For example, you know tea, right? Tea. See, so tea, what we will be doing? We will be adding tea leaves in the milk. So what happens? Whatever the flavor is present in the tea leaves, it will be absorbed by the milk. And you after some time you will be throwing that tea leaves away, because whatever flavor is present, it is absorbed by the milk. So we need only milk. In the same way, Protozoan hay decoction you have to prepare. Hay decoction. In hay decoction, what happens is you have to soak the hay in the glass bucket. Then after 3 to 4 days, whatever is present in the hay, it will be completely absorbed by the water. So just we need water now. Then you have to take 1 or 2 drops of decoction. Decoction is nothing but the water. Then you have to observe under the microscope. When you observe under the microscope, you can see here like this, the protozoans. I think you can identify this is paramecium, this is paramecium, and this is verticella. Paramecium and this is verticella. Okay, so the you all know amoeba, how it looks. So under the microscope you know how amoeba looks. So paramecium and verticella, these are the two protozoans, how it is observed under the microscope. Next, observing microarthropods. So microarthropods, already we said these are microorganisms, and some microarthropods are very important for the soil because it helps to increase the soil fertility as it is present in the soil also. And some microarthropods are not so good to us because it is going to cause diseases to us, diseases to our body. Then where it is generally found? These are found on our skin. These are found on eyelids, beddings. Beddings means beds. On the beds you can see this microarthropods, and rugs. Rugs, you know, in winter season we will be using these rugs. So on the rugs also you can find, if it is not clean, if the rugs and beds are not clean, then you can see this microarthropods staying on those things. If you see here, this is skin itching, skin rashes are formed by a microarthropod called scabies mite. Scabies mite is one of the microarthropod which will cause skin diseases in this way. And if you see here, this is eyelash mite. If you see here, this eyelash mite, these will stay near the eyelashes. It will stay near the eyelashes. If you zoom it, if you observe carefully under the microscope, you can see the eyelash mite will look like this. It will not be this much large. It is very small actually. You can see here, you can't even see. So these are eyelash mites which are present to our present, which will be staying near the eyelashes, and it is very dangerous. If you neglect it, it may cause even infection, a serious infection to your eye also. So we have to be careful. You have to consult a doctor whenever you find these types of microarthropods. It is very easy. How to observe this microarthropods? We all know microarthropods, generally they stay in the soil. So you have to collect some, here I did not write, you have to collect some soil and mix the soil in a beaker of water. Take a beaker and take water in this, take soil, mix the soil in the beaker of water. Then you have to take 1 or 2 drops of water, place it on a slide and observe under the microscope. Like an insect, you can see this microarthropods. So this is about the microarthropods. Coming to virus. Virus is a very different microorganism. It behaves very differently compared to all those microorganisms. Virus, it behaves like a non-living thing when they are outside a living organism. For example, this is a living organism. This is a living organism, human. Okay. Whenever the virus is present outside, suppose you think this is virus. Whenever the virus is present outside the living cell or living body, it behaves like a non-living thing. It behaves like a non-living thing. Non-living thing means what? It will not reproduce, it will not eat, it will not consume the food, it will not reproduce. Especially living organisms characteristic is it is going to reproduce. So Virus, if it is outside the living body, it will not reproduce, it will not consume the food, just it will stay like a non-living thing. But once when this virus enters into the human body, once if it enters into the human body, it behaves like a living thing. That means it start eating the food from our body, and it starts reproducing. It reproduces in a very faster rate, and if the reproduction rate is faster, then our human body will be damaged, will be getting affected. So once if it enters into our human body, it starts living like an living organism. So that is the different characteristic which is present to the virus, which is a link between non-living and living. That means it has non-living, it can stay like non-living, and it can stay like living also. When it is outside the human body, it stays like a non-living. When it is inside the human body, it behaves like a living cell. So it is very dangerous. That's why viruses are very dangerous compared to bacteria, protozoans and all. And if you see, viruses can live in extreme conditions. You can't say that they cannot. It can live in all conditions, like very cool temperatures it can live, very hot temperatures it can live. You can't say that in very cool temperatures microorganisms cannot live. You can't say that with the virus, because viruses can live in very 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 extreme conditions, and these are very very minute organism. With normal compound microscope you cannot even see this viruses. We need a powerful electron microscope to observe this virus. If you see here, there are some bacterial diseases, protozoan diseases, viral diseases. You have to know this. So diseases like typhoid, tuberculosis and septicemia. Septicemia is blood poisoning. So all these three diseases will be caused due to bacteria. Malaria and amoebiasis will be caused due to protozoan. Amoeba, you all know, amoeba will cause you amoebiasis. Viruses will cause you common cold, polio, smallpox, chickenpox, conjunctivitis. You all know common cold, polio. Polio means, at an early age it will attack if you drink contaminated water or food, contaminated water especially, and your legs and hands will not work properly if polio is affected, and there is no cure for polio also if you don't take a vaccine. So smallpox, we might have been suffered once in a lifetime with chickenpox, smallpox. Small rashes will be occurring all over the body. And conjunctivitis is nothing but your eyes becomes red. We will be using goggles so that it will not be contaminate, it is not communicated to other person. The disease should not get communicated to other person. Generally we use goggles if we have conjunctivitis. Okay, all these are common viral diseases. And if you see fungi and microarthropods, mostly it will cause you skin diseases. Fungi and microarthropods, it will cause you skin diseases. So these are all the diseases what you have to know in this lesson. So this is all about our lesson. We will be continuing with further topic in our next class.